no point trying to put that in. And since you're both wood elves, or close approximations, it wouldn't make sense to say that it represents Earth. And Serralio? Ah. Celeste smiled innocently to me. It's a type of palace. I figured that if you're going to have a ship to yourselves and sail the vastness of space, you should at least have one with a fancy name. I sighed, nodding my head. Her logic did make sense, at least. Well, at least you're not calling it the SS Love Nest or something like that. The AI took on a mock-shocked expression. Why, I would never do something like that. What kind of program do you take me for? I simply gave her a long look at that, after which she nodded. Fair enough, I see your point. Anyways, we should get back to the game, or the future, whatever you want to call it, soon. I need 2 or 3 days in order to let my aura fully catch up with my knowledge, and then we can get the plans for a ship, and the other essential information we need. Even if we work around the clock, we won't be done by the time Sharon gets to the Gallon system. Yeah, and while you're doing that, I can do some long overdue cultivation. If we're going out by ourselves, without the protection of the game, then I really need to get my affinities higher. Celeste nodded at that. Try to train your metal affinity as much as you can first, because we'll need a lot of metal to build a ship. Even if it's just for you, Sharon, Yin, and Yang, the ship itself will at least take up the size of a city block. If you can go to a junkyard and get a lot of scrap metal for me to work with, that will move the process along much faster. All right, I'll see what I can do. I pulled up the Adventurers Guild website to make sure that there weren't any local monsters being spawned in large numbers. After that, I put in a call to Monty to see how he was coming with the wiring, and he said that they were a little over halfway done. Just another day or two and it'd be time for me to raise the shield. Finally, with everything taken care of, I logged back into the game and began cultivating my metal affinity. I even spread out my wings and activated the aspect of the mana leech to ensure I took in the mana as fast as possible. If I could fill my grove with metal deposits, then I could possibly get enough mana to build the ship. Possibly. Meanwhile, Celeste had gone quiet in order to focus on slowly feeding information to her Deus Ex body. Every now and then she'd complain about finally knowing what a headache felt like, but was determined to get it fully synchronized. Like this, the next few days quickly passed. Sharon was over a week out from the Gallon system, so Celeste had started working long before she arrived. Apparently, Celeste's class became Drone Ranger, an advanced hunter class that focuses on using drones and turrets instead of basic pets, and has a greater focus on technology. With her mana pool, she was able to summon 4 small drones, 2 medium ones, or 1 big drone. We decided to use her medium and big drones as the combat ones, and set her smaller drones as construction bots. She was able to buy upgrades for them the same way that she could for her own body, but at a higher cost since they were only pets. Alternatively, she could assign an archetype to the pets, and they would progress along a set development path at cheaper prices, but she would not be able to control what upgrades they got. For the construction drones, she went with this option, but chose to customize her other bots. Summoning each bot required a set amount of her mana, which was unable to be recovered until the bot was returned. If she increased her mana reserves enough, it would be possible to have an army of minions. However, doing so would mean that she wasn't able to get the other upgrades she wanted, so she was saving that for later. Our first plan was to build a small shuttle, and use that to mine the ore needed from various asteroids to build a bigger ship. However, doing so would take a lot of time, and the asteroids around Earth were likely infested with monsters. So instead of going up, we decided to go down. On Gallon 3, there were no great subterranean creatures that would swallow me up if I decided to dig, like the landworm on Hassian. And this planet